Now, the UK is slowly recovering from one of the deepest and longest financial crises to hit the country. But despite moderate growth, some key indicators like living standards, health and education suggest few reasons for optimism. RT's Laura Smith reports.
So the Bank of England's forecast for economic growth is on the up, unemployment's down, it sounds great. But beyond those immediate figures is a darker picture that pretty much all the measures by which we track economic progress are in decline. People's real incomes falling, more and more of it spent on basic essentials. Uniquely, this generation of young people is worse educated than their parents, and obesity, female life expectancy and child mortality are among the worst in Europe. So leading economics commentator Jeremy Warner says growth is good, but warns it's unsustainable.
There's not enough exports, there's not enough business investment in this economy. Now, provided the economy continues to grow, the hope is that these things will eventually come through, but at the moment there's very little sign of them.
And you say that these key indicators, so living standards, education, health, these are all on the decline. Talk to me about that.
Yes, well, there are some other very worrying features about the UK economy. Ever since the crisis began, living standards have been under a lot of pressure. Real wages have been declining. We've probably seen a 10 to 15% erosion in living standards since the crisis began 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, that's big. It's never happened before in modern history. Really, for the first time, again in modern history, we are seeing a situation where people leaving the workforce and retiring are better educated than the people joining the workforce. And that is a very worrying phenomenon for the future, because any modern economy depends on continued growth and learning new skills and so on and so forth. If your standards of education are declining, then your relative income in future, relative to the rest of the world, is going to decline with it. So it's a very worrying phenomenon.
What does it all add up to then, these underlying economic indicators? I mean, where are we going?
Well, I think they're an extreme wake-up call, really. I mean, Britain has a lot of things going for it. It's still reckoned to be one of the most open economies in the world. It has the biggest global financial centre in the world. So there are a lot of things going for the UK, but these underlying trends are very worrying, and something needs to be done about them very, very urgently.
Warner says the government's doing some of the right things, but too gingerly. And ultimately, unless radical action's taken in those key areas, Britain's economy is living on borrowed time.